That's what could have happened if we hadn't repaired your car. Wow. Oh, it's no problem.
Make an appointment today for your spring service. We're in the yellow pages. Napa Auto Pro. Got you covered.
The Jays on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by Home Hardware. Help is close to home.
Blue skies over Detroit, and John Gibbons entering his third full season as manager of the Blue Jays. A spot-on record, 187 victories and 187 losses to open the 2007 season. He got a contract extension not long ago that will take him through to the end of next year. Gibbons watching Roy Halladay work to Ivan Rodriguez here in the bottom of the sixth. Sean Casey and Craig Monroe will also bat in this inning. You're seeing Pudge way down in the sixth spot in this particular game. But come Thursday, when Gustavo Chacín is on the mound, he'll be leading off.
Yeah, kind of surprising also, because he's always been a free swinger. He'll swing at everything. But they experimented with Rodriguez in the leadoff slot against left-handers in spring training, and they like what they saw. Kind of becomes a different hitter when he hits leadoff. Good two-strike approach. He'll go the other way. He'll try and get on base. Down here, he's hacking.
And Jim Leyland's thought process is that this guy is one of the best base runners on the team. It doesn't mean he's got a ton of speed.
Not the fastest.
No. Yeah. It means he knows how to run the bases, and he is caught looking by Halladay. 3 pitches, and there goes Pudge.
He's been consistent. Right on the inner half, and it just freezes Rodriguez. He doesn't like it. But that pitch has been called a strike all afternoon by home plate umpire Rick Reed.
Sean Casey, first baseman, is 1 for 2. They've got a solid bench here in Detroit as well. Marcus Timms, who put up some outstanding numbers a year ago, isn't even a starter on this club. He'll see some time at first base. This ball drifting into the corner. Reed Johnson takes it out of the air for the second out. We'll take it back to the studio for an update. Here's Barry Davis.
All right, thanks, Jamie. And Carl Pavano's first start in over a year was not a good one. He had a 3-0 lead, but that went away. Tampa Bay on a RBI single by Rocco Baldelli made it 4-3. Now 5-3 Devil Rays.
Well, that won't go over well in the New York papers tomorrow, assuming things stay that way at Yankee Stadium. Monroe takes it high, ball 1. They had so much promise, did the Yankees, to start the year, but then all of a sudden Chin-Ming Wong has some problems. Andy Pettit's got a sore back. And they didn't know who the heck to throw on opening day.
They're throwing a guy who hasn't pitched in 2 years. What does that tell you about their pitching staff?
And essentially needed to be publicly welcomed back to the team by Mike Mussina.
He has had some crazy injuries. He's on the hill, and Tampa Bay seems to be getting them.
Monroe has had a tough day at the plate, striking out twice. And he is poised to perhaps do it again now. Down 1-2 to Halladay.
He has not been able to pick up that breaking ball by Roy Halladay. He has struck him out twice with 2 strikes. He has thrown that breaking ball out of the strike zone. A little bit better approach right there that time.
And Halladay has gone over the century mark now. 101 pitches in the books. Here we are, all concerned with pitch counts, and there's a guy in Boston right now who has been known to go 150, 160, Daisuke Matsuzaka. There goes the bat, and there goes the batter. Monroe striking out for the 3rd time, a 1-2-3 for the doctor.
Introducing Kia Rondo, the world's first urban utility vehicle. Kia Rondo, from only $19,995.
I think the fans can expect someone who is going to play the game hard and play the game to win.
Troy Glaus hammers this ball to left field. That is way back and gone.
The Jays on Rogers Sportsnet. Jays Tigers Wednesday.
Up to 80% of contact lens wearers have contaminated lens cases, potentially leading to discomfort. Try Solocare Aqua All-in-One Solution with the Microblock lens case. The solution disinfects your lenses, and the case is infused with an antibacterial agent to help prevent case contamination. The unique moisturizing effect of Solocare Aqua helps to retain more moisture in the lens than other leading multi-purpose solutions. So for clean, all-day lens comfort, try Solocare Aqua. Brand power, helping you buy better.
Parents know all about ups and downs, and so do value investors. Parents also know it's worth it in the long run, as do value investors. Talk to your financial advisor about AIC mutual funds and the value of commitment, yours and ours.
25 players, one nation, united by a game. This is the season.
Testing, alpha leader.
I'm going to dominate this kid.
Well, some people like breakfast, some people don't. I do.
You're watching the season, 07 Blue Jays.
A magnificent production produced by Kevin Foley comes your way right after this ball game on Sportsnet East and Ontario, Sportsnet West and Sportsnet Pacific. You can catch the Major League season preview. So the baseball thread continues even after this game is long in the books. Aaron Hill greeting Joel Zumaya with a fly ball to right field. And that is how we begin the seventh. The new pitcher for the Tigers, and a guy well known for throwing over 100 miles an hour.
Take a look at some of those numbers from last year. 6-3, an ERA of 194. Batters hit 187 against Zumaya, but it was the strikeouts that got everybody's eye. 97 of them in 83 and a third innings. He throws very hard, right over the top. And he's got that knee-buckling curveball that puts a lot of right-handers back. Those 97 strikeouts were third among all American League relievers last year. What a luxury it is to have a guy like this coming out of your pen for the 7th and 8th inning.
And what a luxury considering, like Justin Verlander, he's just in his second year, too. It's not like they just plucked these guys out of the free agent market. These two men in particular are going to be with this club for a long, long time.
Well, one of the things that Dave Dombrowski likes to do when he becomes the general manager, he took over here in 2001, is draft a lot of young pitchers who throw hard. Big, strong guys who throw hard because he figures that that's the way, the quickest way to the big leagues and the best way to get guys out. We saw it in Florida when he was there. We saw it in Montreal when he was the general manager of the Expos. And as soon as he took over here in 01 with the Tigers, they drafted Verlander. They drafted Zumaya. They traded for Jeremy Bonderman. And they have a few more very good arms down in the minor leagues.
Bonderman worked 6 for the Tigers on opening day, giving up 3 runs on 5 hits. He struck out 3 and walked a pair.
Shaky early on, but he finished up strong.
(3-2) to Royce Clayton, upstairs and fouled back. We have to remember that Bonderman wasn't in fact drafted by this club. He was actually picked by the Oakland A's and then sent in a multiplayer deal over to Detroit. I believe Jeff Weaver ended up leaving Detroit in that particular deal. Upstairs and right under the chin, so Clayton is on board. Moneyball doesn't work all the time, you know. You can give up excellent prospects here and there. But Dave Dombrowski has done a wonderful job in basically resurrecting this franchise. I mean, these guys, this team, this city was an embarrassment for a long time.
Well, he's got a very good eye at recognizing talent. Andrew Miller, who was drafted #1 last year by Detroit, has already spent some time in the big leagues. They sent him down. Cameron Maybin, center fielder. You're going to be hearing his name in a few years. He was their #1 pick a few years ago.
Almost ready to be on the opening day roster now.
That's correct, at 20 years old. And a whole host of other pitchers who can rush it up there.
Reed Johnson had a terrific spring, hit .438. Matching up against Amaya here. 1 out, 1 on in a 3-3 ball game. Fastball, and that ball is drilled to left field. Monroe back to the track, and he pulls it down. Oh, terrific play for Craig Monroe, robbing Reed Johnson of extra bases and perhaps robbing the Blue Jays of the go-ahead run.
When that ball left the bat, I figure that's no doubt. Just the sound and the trajectory off the bat by Reed Johnson, but somehow it just died out there. Monroe quickly gets back, finds the wall, and reaches up, and for the second time takes away a home run. Listen to that sound. I think Reed Johnson thinks he got that one also.
That kind of play can have a deflating effect on the offensive side, too. I mean, the Tigers have to be absolutely thrilled with a catch like that one in a situation like this one, a tight ball game in the 7th.
You hit a ball like that in July, it's gone. The heat, it's a little, not as hot, and the ball just doesn't seem to go early in the season.
That's the second straight inning in which Monroe has taken one away with a man on. In the 6th, Bloss hit a high towering shot that, you know, if you just left it untouched, it probably would have bounced off the top of the rail and either back onto the field or into the stands. A delayed call by Rick Reed there for strike 1. It took Overbay a while to have the message sink in. I think he thought he might have received a free pass initially. Grounded over the pitcher. Gloved by Guillen. The throw to first, they'll get Overbay.
Taken everything we've learned from our 12th Dakar Rally win and put it into the athletic new 2007 Mitsubishi Outlander.
It's the sports show that covers your home teams first. It's fun, cutting edge, and opinionated. With highlights, and even more highlights. Our team, your teams. Sportsnet connected at 6 and 10 p.m. on Rogers Sportsnet Ontario, your home team first.
For drivers who want to get the most out of their cars, it's Bridgestone or nothing.
Professor, folks in town are worried that this is a plague.
As an Old Testament plague?
As in God, Moses, the whole deal. Is it blood?
The whole damn river.
God has sent me a message. I believe you're in danger.
Are you gonna kill my baby?
No.
Why not?
On April 5th, what hath God wrought?
How do you know it's real?
The Reaping. Starts Thursday, April 5th.
Get started in boating with your free DVD at discoverboating.ca.
Hey, the Blue Jays welcome a new voice to the radio booth on Sports Radio, the Fan 590 in Toronto, or across the network on Blue Jays Radio. Alan Ashby, who was on the original team in 1977, didn't start opening day, but caught the most games for the Jays back in '77, joins Jerry Howarth in the booth. Both men like Detroit for several reasons. Jerry called his first major league game here in 1980, and Alan got his first big league hit at Tiger Stadium in 1973 against a guy named Mike Strawler. So welcome Alan Ashby to the broadcast booth, and welcome Casey Janssen into the ball game.
Blue Jays go to the bullpen. Roy Halladay with 6 solid innings. They go with Casey Janssen. Now last year, he led all rookie starters, allowing 2 walks per 9 innings. Well, it looks like he has fixed that. He had an outstanding spring. An ERA of 1.8. He threw 14 2/3 innings. Here's the surprise. 18 strikeouts in those 14 2/3, but it looks like he conquered the strike zone. Just 1 base on ball all spring. Looks like he is throwing harder than he did last year. He throws all 4, sink the ball, curveball, changeup, a little bit of a slider. But he forced the Jays to put him on this bullpen committee by having a great spring.
Without question, one of the big surprises of the spring, and he'll face Brandon Inge in the home half of the 7th. This game all tied up at 3 runs apiece. Zahn peels off the mask. Overbay and everybody else involved is going to go over there and take a look, but it's out of the reach of Overbay. Inge in the 9 spot has been an absolute pest today. He reached on an error in the 3rd, reached on a walk in the 5th, and scored both times. So for Casey Janssen, the first priority in the 7th is to make sure you retire the number 9 hitter.
Got on through an error his first time up and score, but again, when you get to that middle of the lineup, keep these guys off base.
A curveball grounded to 3rd, backhanded by Gloss, and Overbay scoops it out of the dirt.
We talked the first time he was up, Brandon Inge, how well he runs down the first base line. Gloss with a nice backhand, and then sees where Inge is. And look at the play on the other end. That tough in-between hop. As a first baseman, you don't know if it's going to be in the dirt or if it's going to be on the grass. His pitcher likes it, Casey Janssen. Nice play by Overbay over at first.
Granderson showing bunt. It's one of those plays where you don't know whether to set your glove on the forehand or the backhand.
And it's that in-between hop, but he played it perfectly by getting down low. You want to get down low and you want to come up on that ball.
Granderson a 2 for 3 day so far. And maybe more importantly for him personally, he has yet to strike out, something he did 174 times last year. But we talked initially about his 2-strike approach, and he's dealing with it right now. Little nubber, and that lands in the glove of Clayton for out number 2. Roy Halladay worked 6 innings in an opening day start, allowing 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Best not to push the envelope with your ace this early in the season.
104 pitches, that's enough. You got a long season. I think it's the right thing. 6 solid innings, just 2 earned runs.
And if anything, leaves the game with his team in a position to win. But it will be up to the bullpen. And I guess if we're comparing, there's no arguing that the Tigers, at least as statistics go and everything else, have a much better bullpen than the Blue Jays do. But that might not come into play in the latter stages of this game. 1 ball, 1 strike, grounded to third. A very quick and a very clean inning for Casey Janssen. He needs just 10 pitches.
Professor, folks in town are worried that this is a plague.
As an Old Testament plague?
As in God, Moses, the whole deal. Is it blood?
The whole damn river.
God has sent me a message. I believe you're in danger.
Are you gonna kill my baby? No. Why not?
On April 5th, what has God wrought?
How do you know it's real?
The Reaping. Starts Thursday, April 5th.
From decorating to renovating, imagine one tool that can help you do it all. It's HomeCard. Use your HomeCard at Home Hardware, Home Hardware Building Center, and home furniture stores to help finance any home enhancement project. And now, during our absolutely no-fee event, choose either do not pay for 6 months or make 12 equal payments. Apply for your HomeCard today.
Help is close to home.
Only at home.
Introducing Kia Rondo, the world's first urban utility vehicle. Kia Rondo, from only $19,995.
On Sportsnet Pacific later today, specifically 3:30 Pacific time, it's the A's and the Mariners kicking off their respective seasons. Danny Herron for Oakland, Felix Hernandez for the Mariners. You'll see a lot of Mariners baseball this year on Sportsnet Pacific. We're seeing some good baseball on opening day. Both our starters have departed. Joel Zumaya continues in the 8th, his 2nd inning of work, and he'll face Wells, Thomas, and Gloss in a 3-3 ball game on opening day. That last inning, Zumaya tossed 15 pitches, 8 of them strikes, 7 balls. So, you know, he can be wild from time to time. Maybe the philosophy against a hard thrower like this sometimes is just wait it out a little bit.
But it's tough to let that first one go. If you see it and it's right there, awful tough to just let it go because he is so tough. One of the things that Vernon Wells might think about trying to do is shooting a ball to left center field. Kurt Granderson, the center fielder, shading him to right field. He doesn't think he can get around on a fastball from Zumaya. A lot of room in left center field. There it is. There's your center fielder, Curtis Granderson, shading him to right field. Doesn't think he can get around on that 95-plus fastball.
There's that knee-buckling curveball. Didn't necessarily buckle Wells' knees. Well, April of '06 was spectacular for BW. A .396 average, a .437 on base. And that was an aberration, considering the terrible starts he often gets. First several years of his career, in fact. For some reason, April was not a good one.
I like that 3rd number. Home runs per at bat. 1 every 10 last year.
3-2 pitch right down the pipe, and it's grounded to short. Frank Thomas's first base hit as a Blue Jay came 2 innings ago when he singled to lead off the 6th. In past years, we've read so much about this guy being trouble, being a cancer in the locker room. Based on the last month down in Dunedin, hard to understand why he could be perceived that way. Although, you know, Thomas himself admits that when he was younger and playing in his early years with the White Sox, he was immature, thought more at times about his numbers than team goals. But here's a guy who, one, is always at the ballpark around 6 o'clock in the morning, and two, busts his behind, even though he's really only a designated hitter.
Well, you saw it today when he came out of the cage.
Before batting practice. Drenched in sweat.
Underneath the stands here, just working.
Whoa, look out. That bat, like a helicopter, goes scurrying into the first row. And that's the worst kind of strikeout. You lose the battle and the twig.
Well, they got to go over and make a trade here. That's Frank Thomas's gamer right there. Maybe they'll trade a BP bat and a ball or something like that. But he got him with that breaking ball. Look at the bite on this. Right over the top, and the bat is gone. Nice catch by the fan behind the dugout there. If Zumaya keeps getting that breaking ball over, that makes it awfully tough. If you could try and eliminate one of those pitches, if he's not getting that curveball over, you can sit on that heater. But if he's getting both of them over, it's tough to hit against him because you got to start so early to cheat to try and get to that fastball.
Bloss will walk a lot. He'll strike out a ton, too. Struck out 134 times last year, but he walked 86. Almost as if there's no in between. You're either going to get on base, get a home run, or you're going to strike out. And you're dealing with Troy Glaus outside 3-2.
Now, you know the Jays will take the trade-off also.
In a huge way.
38 home runs, production. Big bat, middle of the lineup.
Here comes from Zumaya, outside ball 4. He doesn't put up the average numbers, and as he said to me about a week ago, he says, you know, hitting 250 is more fun. As long as he gets his ding-dongs, I think that's all Blue Jays management, and for that matter, the fans are concerned with.
That's the trade-off right there, as you see Jim Leyland trying to get the attention of Sean Casey to put him behind the runner.
Rios with a grounder, backhanded by Guillen. And they'll get the force at second and retire the side. We're through 7.5. It's a 3-3 ball game. We'll take it back to the studio for an update from Barry Davis.
And welcome back to the Sportsnet Connected studio. Should be a great finish to this one. Let's get you caught up on some of the other action going around Major League ballparks. Yes, it is opening day. Let's take you to Atlanta and the Phillies. Top of the 8th inning, Edgar Renteria takes Brett Myers deep over the wall in center field. That's a solo shot. Ties the game at 3, now in the bottom of the 8th. Well, after going deep earlier in the game, Adam wasn't done yet. This one off of Carlos Zambrano, his second of the game. 3-0 for the Cincinnati Reds. By the way, he's on pace for 324 home runs this year. Coming up on Sportsnet Connected, Blue Jays highlights Devils firing Claude Julien. Let's take you back soon to the finish between the Jays
Flying to the same places over and over? Check out our new flight passes, good for multiple flights. Air Canada, the freedom to fly your own way.
So there are a variety of colors you can choose from. Oh, and you can get a bonus offer of free Mopar accessories, free gas, or a bonus cash rebate.
Mopar accessories.
Free gas.
We'll take it.
Get a great car at a great price and choose a bonus offer of Mopar accessories, free gas, or a bonus cash rebate. Only during the Canada's Choice event.
Judging by the popularity of the $2 Tuesdays, the Blue Jays were happy to present them again, presented by the Toronto Star. The first coming up a week from tomorrow, Game 2 of the home set against the Royals. $2 for a seat in the upper deck. You can call the Jays, log on to BlueJays.com, or visit most Rogers Video locations. Here's Gary Sheffield against Casey Janssen, who finds the strike zone. Ordonez and Guillen to follow. Tied at 3 at Comerica Park on opening day. Jamie Campbell and Pat Tabler. We've watched a good one so far. Both clubs have gone to their bullpen. The Jays scored 3 in the first and jumped out to the lead on Jeremy Bonderman. But eventually the Tigers were able to get to Roy Halladay on 3 runs. Reaching for that one is Sheffield, and he'll send this one in the direction of center field, and almost a collision out there. Vernon Wells calling off Reed Johnson sort of at the last second.
Yeah, wasn't real sure who caught that ball. What a fine play again by Vernon Wells. You see him call off Reed Johnson, and at the last second he peels away and falls backhanded by the Gold Glover. You can see how deep they are. Tying run at the plate, middle of the lineup. They are playing no doubles. Nothing between them.
And look at that cut, Ordonez. That'll send the curly locks flying in all directions. Jansen worked a 1-2-3 7th. He gets Sheffield here with some help from his center fielder. Even today in the clubhouse prior to the game, Jansen looked pleasantly surprised to even be here. He probably thought this offseason that he would start the year in a starter's role down in Syracuse. Makes a nice effort there to come down with it and get Ordonez. 2 out. But you know, it's the old Earl Weaver theory. I mean, your best starting pitchers will often start in a major league bullpen.
But you know what? I like what J.P. Ricciardi said towards the end of spring training. We are taking the best 12 pitchers. I don't care if that's starters, relievers, short guys, situation lefties, whatever. We are taking our best pitchers. And the kid deserves to be here because of the spring that he had. He had a fantastic spring.
The Blue Jays don't really even have a true situational lefty. You'll remember last year they started out the year with Scott Schoenweis. He's now with the Mets. The 2 lefties in their bullpen, one happens to be the closer, B.J. Ryan. And then Scott Downs is more of a long man, a guy you can throw into pretty well any situation. Speaking of Downs, he's up in the pen along with Jason Fraser, who will be the setup guy this year most days in the absence of Brandon League. Carlos Guillen whacking this to left field and foul. Guillen is 0 for 3 today. This, the 107th opener in the history of the Detroit Tigers. And 31st in the history of the Toronto Blue Jays. The drop and drive from Jansen, line to center field, and Wells has eyes for it, and there they go. 6 retired by Jansen. We're through 8 in Detroit.
Guys, you got to try these McDonald's breakfast burritos. They're really good. I thought we'd change things up a little.
Whoa! What's all this talk about change?
You'll love them. They got eggs, sausage, green peppers.
Rossetti here, talk to me. This ain't over.
Breakfast burritos, a delicious way to change things up in the morning.
And now, the bride's bouquet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Taken everything we've learned from our 12th Dakar Rally win and put it into the athletic new 2007 Mitsubishi Outlander.
The Jays on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by Home Hardware. Help is close to home.
We have reached the 9th inning here in Detroit. Time to present Mr. Tabler with a question, courtesy of our Jays Mail feature. The question today coming from Jamie Kelly, watching in the fine city of Halifax. He wants to know, Pat, you played for the 92 World Series Toronto Blue Jays. Are there similarities between the 07 edition and the 92 club?
Yeah, there really are. And when I look at it, it's from the offensive spot. You know, they've got some good team speed, they play good defense, and they've got some bumpers in the middle of that lineup, a lot like the 92 team, you know, with Carter and Winfield and Gruber and those kind of people. I think they match up very well offensively. The 92 team might have had a little bit more pitching depth.
Here's Todd Jones, Detroit's closer. The back-end man of a very solid bullpen. Coming in the 9th, they'll see Greg Zahn, Aaron Hill, and Royce Clayton, the bottom end of Toronto's lineup.
The franchise leader in saves is Todd Jones in Tiger history with 179 saves in his career. And he saws off Greg Zahn for the first out here. Four times he has had 30 save seasons for the Tigers.
Hill is 0 for 3. A lot of people thought that Jones was finished after he finished up with the Phillies in 04, but then had a solid year with Florida in 2005, signed on with Detroit, and was a big factor in leading them to the World Series a year ago.
He's sneaky quick with that fastball. You see that motion, he hides the ball well, and he kind of short arms the ball, and as a hitter, that ball's right on top of you quickly. A little bit of a little cut slider. 263 saves in his major league career.
You think 162 games is a long time. Jones last year played in the World Baseball Classic for the United States club. Played an entire season with the Tigers and then an entire postseason with the Tigers. I'm hoping he got a lot of sleep this winter. 3-1 upstairs, a called strike by Rick Reed.
It looked like Aaron Hill was taken all the way.
You know, you don't want to show up an umpire by any stretch, but we've seen a couple of occasions where Reed has taken his time determining ball or strike.
As long as you do it consistently.
Matt Stairs has come into the on-deck circle. Due to bat for the number 9 hitter, Royce Clayton. And he'll come up with a man on. Nice at bat by Aaron Hill.
A very good at bat. 3-1. It looked like he was taken all the way to try and make Jones throw more pitches. Got it to 3-2 and then took that pitch that was just down.
Well, it doesn't seem like much. You sign a guy for about $900,000 to come off the bench from time to time, but this Blue Jay team so heavily right-handed, it will be a nice luxury to have a veteran hitter come off the bench from the left side, and that is Matt Stairs of Fredericton.
Well, you know he's not going to get cheated. He's going to take his 3 swings and he's going to swing hard. Perfect situation here. Right-handed pitcher, runner on first base, pick out a fastball and try and split those outfielders.
He actually finished the year with Detroit last season. Wasn't eligible for the postseason. Detroit being the 3rd of 3 teams Stairs played for last year after starting out in Kansas City, getting traded to Texas, and then picked up by the Tigers in September. Here's a ground ball scooped by Guillen, and that's that for the Blue Jays. They'll get the double play and head to the 9th, the bottom half, with a chance to win it.
Back pain. It doesn't just make you feel bad. Robax Platinum doesn't just relieve back pain. It also relaxes those tight, tense back muscles. Robax Platinum, helping you walk away from back pain.
One of our most popular promotions is Simply Italian. Guests can enjoy any one of these entrees starting at just $9.95. The pastas come with side Caesar salad and garlic toast.
Meatball!
Yes, that's a meatball.
We want meatball!
Well, this is just a picture. You can't eat it.
Meatball!
Simply Italian. From $9.95. Boston Pizza. You're among friends.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Sorry, sir, I gotta let you go. I'm gonna lose you again. Okay, yeah, bye.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know how much it means. Yeah, it's done. Uh-huh. Hold on. You okay? Oh, that's great. Okay. Yep.
Rogers, Canada's most reliable wireless network.
Well, here come the Yankees. Derek Jeter with the bases loaded, bottom of the 6th. This 2-run single ties the game at 5. Let's send it back to Jamie and Pat in Detroit.
With that offense, Barry, you couldn't expect them to stay down for long. It's a 3-3 ball game in Detroit. In defensively for the Blue Jays, John McDonald. He takes over the spot vacated by Royce Clayton. And Casey Jansen, who in 2 innings has retired 6 men, will pitch the bottom of the 9th, facing Pudge Rodriguez, Sean Casey, and Craig Monroe.
When he throws pitches like that one down in the strike zone, he has been tough. Defense playing Pudge Rodriguez straight up on the infield and on the outfield.
It has been a highly entertaining opener thus far. The Blue Jays getting all 3 of their runs in the first inning, but have not been able to find the plate since. still call this guy Pudge. I know it's his nickname and has been forever, but he's been sort of a half Pudge for 2 years now.
A little bit thinner as he gets older, but still putting up great numbers. You saw hitting 300. He finished hot last year. To get the 300 for the 10th time in his career.
1-2 curveball fouled back. $44,000 plus at Comerica today. On a brilliant day for baseball. A 1-2 offering. Outside 2-2. Down the street, Tiger Stadium, when it filled the building, would hold about 58,000, almost 14,000 more than this stadium is capable of holding. That sun is starting to fall towards the west now and might be getting in the eyes of Jansen just a little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't real sure what he wants to do here. 2-2. With 2 strikes on Rodriguez, he has kept everything away. As you see, Fernando Rodney has now gotten up. If they do not score here.
Big cut from Pudge, and he goes down swinging.
Good pitch with something on it by Casey Jansen, and the location is almost perfect. Look at Greg Zahn. He holds the glove right there, and Jansen hits it. Nothing that Rodriguez can do with that pitch right there.
Left-hander on deck for the Tigers, and we saw Scott Downs getting loose in the bullpen. So John Gibbons says nice job to Casey Jansen and makes a call to the bullpen. And this pitching change is brought to you by Robax Platinum, helping you walk away from back pain.
Our first house.
Our first lawn. The great outdoors. A view of the water and the future. A yard made for kids. A garage made for...
Whatever your needs, CIBC Mortgages provide choice, flexibility, and great rates.
What did you see?
You see things before they happen.
I have no idea how, but I can.
There is a nuclear bomb somewhere in the United States. Find it.
Do exactly what I say. I'll save your life.
I don't want you to die.
Next.
It's happening.
When?
Now.
In theaters April 27th.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Sorry, sir, I gotta let you go. I'm gonna lose you again. Okay, yeah, bye.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know how much it means. Yeah, it's done. Uh-huh. Hold on. You okay? Oh, that's great. Okay. Yep.
Rogers, Canada's most reliable wireless network.
So after Casey Jansen gets his man in the 9th, on comes Scott Downs to face the left-handed hitting Sean Casey.
Got into 10 spring games this year. That's the most of any pitcher, and did pretty well. Last year won 6 games. That was the most by any reliever. Spots his fastball to both sides of the plate. A little slider, a little cutter, a little curveball, a little bit of everything. And with the left-handed hitting Casey up, we see Scott Downs this afternoon.
Strike one called from Rick Reed. Downs last year did a little bit of everything. Played in 59 games, started 5. He can pitch to one batter. He can pitch 3 innings if you ask him to. Down low for a ball, 1-1. Casey's 1 for 3 today. Craig Monroe is on deck, and you know he's itching to get to the plate, having struck out 3 times this afternoon. And a called strike, now 1-2. It's been a game in which each team has given the other a run. In a way, the run that Vernon Wells scored in the first was scored after Monroe and Guillen sort of crossed up their signals in shallow left field. And then an error by Aaron Hill in the third allowed Brandon Inge to get a run. We are tied at 3 in the bottom of the 9th inning here.
Trying to get Sean Casey to fish on that breaking ball. Might be able to get him if he goes back to it here. He was tough on left-handers last year. Lefty's hitting .230 versus Scott Downs. .3-2 is on the way, and Greg Zahn has reason to be disappointed. If he hangs on to that ball, Casey's walking back to the dugout. Yeah, he painted him with a fastball right there, and at Casey it was kind of surprised. Kind of flung his bat at it, tipped it, but it came out of the mid of Greg Zahn, and they'll have to do it all over again. Let's watch it again. Fastball away, just tipped it and right off the glove.
Greg Monroe. He's had a heck of a game defensively.
Well, you talked about the one early in the game that dropped in there. Well, he made up for it with these 2 plays. First against Troy Gloss in the 6th, and then this one looked like it was gone off the bat of Reed Johnson. He quickly gets back to the wall, finds it, and leaps over it to take away a home run from Reed Johnson. So he is more than made up for that miscue in the first inning.
And yet another pitching change as John Gibbons brings in Jason Fraser. It's brought to you by Robax Platinum, helping you walk away from back pain.
Bread is good, Mr. Saab.
Still getting dandruff? Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo helps eliminate visible flakes after just 1 use. T-Gel Shampoo. It works. Neutrogena.
Have a nice ride.
On April 6th.
Want the story? Shouldn't I get a second opinion?
I'll spin it for you quick. There's only one place to find heroes this wild, villains this fierce, or a movie this big at the Grindhouse. 2 great directors, 2 explosive movies, 1 spectacular event. Grindhouse.
In theaters Friday.
Well, the Yankees have retaken the lead. Jason Giambi at the plate. The RBI single scores A-Rod. He comes around from second. It is now 6-5 Yanks in the bottom of the 7th. Jamie.
Barry Shun Casey doesn't move too quickly, so they'll wisely pinch run for him. Nafi Perez stands at first, 1 away in the bottom of the 9th. And Jason Fraser comes in from the bullpen. He'll be the setup guy for the foreseeable future. We got an interesting card game going on here between the 2 managers. Jim Leyland's already shown his closer.
Jason Fraser into the ballgame. Had to redefine himself last year after being sent out twice. He kind of jumped the curveball and now has gone back to that fastball slider type of pitcher. And I think the pitch that has really set him over the hump. It's like a split change. It's not a true split finger. He just kind of spreads his fingers a little bit, and it's like a changeup. Well, you add that to that slider and that fastball, and he can get it into the low 90s. He finished last year very strong. 1-1 with an ERA of 2.65 over the last 2 months, and he is now the 8th inning guy for John Gibbons.
So it'll be righty against righty as Frazier comes on to face Monroe with a man on and 1 out, bottom of the 9th in a tie ball game.
You see Craig Monroe really wanting that ball on the inner half. He's trying to cheat to get to it, to maybe hook it down the left field line. All afternoon long, Halladay and Jansen and now Frazier kept that ball away from him. He's a free swinger. We talked about that, but he's also a mistake hitter. If you make a mistake, he can hurt you.
Hey, the Tigers have some fresh legs at first base. There's no wrongdoing in keeping them honest. Keeping him close to the bag.
Not really a steal threat, but he's a very good base runner.
Down the pipe for strike 2, and quickly Monroe goes behind 0-2.
Can't believe that pitch was called a strike, but it's on the outer half. He stands off the plate to begin with, and you keep pumping that ball on the outer half. It looks like it's way outside, but look at it. Right on the corner.
Halladay struck him out 3 times. Once looking, twice swinging. Now Frazier has a chance, but he steps off the rubber.
Throw the pitch that you have the most control with right here. You don't want to make a mistake. Whatever that pitch is, if it's your slider or if it's your split change or if it's your fastball, you want to throw the pitch that you have the most control with because you don't want to make a mistake.
Swing and a miss, and there goes Monroe. Oh, what a day at the plate. 4 strikeouts.
This is a nice little late breaking slider. And you can see he's all wrapped up. Look at that late break, down and away, out of the strike zone.
And it's the funny thing, though, about this Tigers lineup. Just when you think you've retired the man who hit a bunch of home runs last year, up steps number 9, Brandon Inge, who hit 27.
Yeah, his home run numbers.
Not like facing some weak hitting infielder here.
They keep going up for Brandon Inge. You mentioned the 27. That was a career high for Inge. He's had a nice day.
Frazier ditched the curveball for a reason. He didn't like the fact it was getting crushed last year.
And it looked like he was having trouble throwing it consistently for strikes.
Goes the runner. And they'll throw down to first base, but a backhanded play by Overbay, who does well to keep it from rolling out into the right field area.
Now remember earlier when a runner was going to be a dead duck over first base for the Blue Jays? They had Maybe Perez cut off. He started to go and then stopped over at first base for some reason. Throw was offline by Greg Zaun, or he would have been out.
Busted back. John McDonald with the throw to first to get Inge. And the Tigers are finished. We have completed 9. Off we go to extra innings in Detroit.
People who think the National Football League is coming to Toronto obviously have no understanding of the economics of the NFL. This is a league that is ruled by, dominated by, and fueled by U.S. television contracts. To put a team in Toronto or any place in Canada doesn't address that. It's not happening. There will never be an NFL team in Toronto. There ain't no team, and there isn't one coming.
Grip is good, Mr. Saab.
Just need a ride? Fly without meals or checked luggage for a lower fare. Air Canada, the freedom to fly your own way.
Hey, a new megastore is going to open on April 9th at the Rogers Center, the new Jays Shop Stadium edition with over 500 different types of ball caps. You can see that the Blue Jays today are wearing that alternative lid. You can pick one up at the new Jays Shop Stadium edition. And visit Aces Clubhouse, specializing in children's merchandise. Log on to BlueJays.com for more information, or even better, come on down to that opening series against Kansas City and check out the new megastore. I am told it will be impressive. Extra innings and a ton of changes. Carlos Guillen will shift from short over to first base to replace Sean Casey. And as a result, Neifi Perez stays in the ballgame after going in as a pinch runner. He now plays short. They've made the call to the bullpen as well, as there is Fernando Rodney coming in to face the Blue Jays in the 10th.
Another one of those good arms that Jim Leyland can run out there. He's usually in the ballgame a little bit earlier than Zumaya and Jones, but look at the numbers that he posted last year. Opponents batting just 196 against him. That was 6th among All-American relievers last year. Just 6 hits per 9 innings. And as usual, a lot of strikeouts, 65 and 71 and 2/3 innings. He'll throw a fastball and a nice tight slider. Will have bouts with wildness if you can wait him out.
Reed Johnson to lead things off. Johnson has scored a run way back when, that first inning when he walked, stole a base, and came in on a double by Lyle Overbay. Since then, he has fouled out, popped out, and lined out to left field. Rodney, another one of those guys who can really chuck it, but he changes the speed there to get ahead 0-2.
Yeah, he's got such good arm action on that slide, or excuse me, that changeup, that you got to start and respect the fastball. Before you know it, you're out on your front foot, and he's crossed you up with a changeup.
Now the Blue Jays can take some comfort knowing that they have not yet burned their closer in this game. The Tigers have done so, and the Tigers are working with a shortened bullpen today because Jose Mesa is sitting out a 2-game suspension to begin the year after he threw at Mark Sweeney of the San Francisco Giants last year as a member of the Colorado Rockies. So with Rodney coming into the game, Tigers have one right-hander in Jason Grilli and a couple of lefties in Will Ledesma and Bobby C. in their bullpen. And the way this Blue Jay team can hit left-handed pitching, I'm not sure you're going to want to bring any of those guys in anytime soon.
Leave them over there. We'll watch. You know, he has played his cards. That's a good point, that he has played his cards in Rodney and Zumaya and Jones. Thinking that their offense would be able to score a run for Jones, and then you wouldn't need the closer at home.
Nub towards third base. Rodney with the throw to first in time to get Johnson. Oh, and quickly out of the dugout is John Gibbons.
I don't know about that one. John Gibbons is saying the first baseman, Carlos Guillen, had to reach around the runner and up, and I don't know if his foot was on the bag. We'll have a chance to see an instant replay, but almost a perfect bunt-like hit by Reed Johnson. Watch the high throw. He's got to go up around him. Looks like he beat the throw. This angle here should be able to tell you if his foot was on the bag.
What's your assessment based on what you've seen so far?
I think he beat the throw. I think his foot was on the bag, but he beat the throw.
We know this much. It was very close. One out for Overbay. Hit hard and a base hit for Overbay as he drives one up the middle to get aboard. And now it's a darn shame if you're John Gibbons that Reed Johnson is not on base.
Yeah, they could do so many things when you get that leadoff hitter up and Lyle Overbay at the plate. They're going to have to go ahead and get it now with one out. Stays on this pitch. Watch it going away from him. Stays on it. Stays on top of it. And covers it to center field.
Overbay now with a couple of base hits in the game. He's 2 for 4. Vernon Wells an RBI single in the first. He is 1 for 4. Belts this one to left field and way foul. You will not see Kenny Rogers pitch in this series. In fact, you will not see him pitch in any series for the next 3 months. The defending American League champs have lost their best pitcher to a blood clot in his shoulder. He had to have some surgery a few days back, and now Detroit sort of needs to focus on a season without Kenny Rogers, a guy who was so good in the postseason last year.
Yeah, and that came out of nowhere.
It really did.
Where did that come from? We asked some of the Tiger people. He said, did he have a problem in the spring? No, he was throwing the ball great all spring long, and then right at the end he says, my arm's tired, and did a check, and he'll be out till July.
And this team is so deep that when you mention it to people in and around the Tigers, they say, well, you know, no big deal. We've still got Mike Baroth coming back. We've still got Nate Robertson. We still have Justin Verlander, the Rookie of the Year. I mean, it's a tremendous loss, but they're still deep where the rotation is concerned. 1-1 to Wells outside. There's B.J. Ryan. Will assume the next man in where the Blue Jays are concerned.
If they score a run, he'll be in.
Wells fights off the pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It wasn't long ago you could get Vernon Wells to chase pitches outside the strike zone. He does not do that very much anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because he is spread out just a little bit more, or he is a little bit more mature as a hitter, but he's been able to lay off of that slider in the dirt. He has just missed 2 changeups from Rodney.
Wells swings and drives it down the right field line, high and deep, but way out of play. Into the 10th as the clock on the wall here at Comerica Park hits 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Approaching 3 hours in length of this game. The 2-2 from Rodney, up and outside, so the count is full.
Time to start that runner right here. Stay out of the double play. Give Lyle Overbay maybe a couple extra steps in case Vernon Wells can get the ball to the outfield. Overbay could make it to third, and even better, make it all the way home.
There goes Overbay, and it's chopped foul.
You know, one of the things it does also when you start a runner over first base, it opens up holes on that inner defense. That was a changeup. So the percentages say that the hitter's going to pull that ball. That's why you saw the second baseman, Polanco, covering on that steal attempt.
Ball 4.
Is launched. There it goes. Another one leaves the park for Frank Thomas. And back to the wall. Frank Thomas. What he has done to carry this ball club is just phenomenal.
He has hit a few in his time, 487 career. And a chance here to help out his new team, and he could help them out with a simple single if he can get one. Men on first and second for the Jays, 1 out in the 10th. A tie ball game at 3. Fernando Rodney on the hill for the Tigers. Overbay at second. Vernon Wells at first. Fouled off by Frank Thomas, and he needs a new bat.
Big fly guys, active home run leaders. Of course, Barry Bonds is number 1. You have to put Sammy Sosa back on that list after sitting out last year. Griffey over 500, and there's Big Frank.
So Sammy's chasing 600. 5 guys have a chance at 500. 2 of them involved in this game. Thomas 1, and Gary Sheffield, who'll need a monster season. I think it's 45 home runs he would need to get to 500. But of course, Sheffield's on a 3-year contract, so he'll get there eventually.
A-Rod is getting closer. I think he's 36 home runs away from 500.
And if he were to do it this year, he would become the youngest to hit 500 home runs in a career. You know Ken Griffey would be up in around the 700 area if he hadn't missed so many games. 0-1 to the Big Hurt. And a strike.
Well, he's such a big guy. And this one, it looks like it's under the knees. Kind of double clutches right there, and it's called a strike by home plate umpire Rick Reed. Now 0-2. This is where Frank Thomas gets tough. On top of that power, he's got a very good eye.
Up and in. The fans wanted a strikeout. Rick Reed will not give it to them, and rightly so.
Well, he has seen about 10,000 pitches like that. That fastball where you try and move him off the plate. Look how he's taking it. He knows that's inside.
And that one hit him. Frank Thomas will get a free pass as that ball grazed him somewhere around the wrist. And Rodney has loaded up the bases for Troy Glaus.
Now, the look on him has always been try to pound him inside so he can't extend those arms. This one got away from Rodney. Might have hit his hand. You can see, watch how he drops the bat. Maybe it hit him in that wrist area. See how he drops the bat quickly? It tells me that maybe he got hit in that hand area.
And Troy Glaus is coming up here, who came so close to hitting one out earlier in the ball game. Jason Smith will run for Lyle Overbay at third.
Why do you do that? Well, you put a little bit more speed at third base on a short sacrifice fly, or maybe a number in front of the plate. Troy Glaus is a fly ball hitter, so you want to put a little bit more speed at third base to make sure you get that run in.
Swings weakly at the ball and falls behind 0-1. Glaus really seemed to hit a wall late season in 06. He's got a chance here, though, to put some runs on the board, give the Blue Jays a 10th inning lead.
I don't think he's going to see a fastball for a strike. A couple of change-ups right there from Rodney. Had him way out in front. Now, Troy's thinking, okay, now what? And Rodney can try to spot a fastball, try to set something up with his fastball. He can go up, he can go in, he can go away, try to freeze him. He's got enough juice to try and get a fastball by him.
Here's the 0-2. Line to left field and a base hit. Jason Smith coming in to score to give the Blue Jays the lead. Everybody moves up one. And the Blue Jays take a 4-3 lead in the 10th.
Can't believe he went to the well again with a changeup. He had Troy Glaus set up with a fastball to just put fastball in his mind. He made him look bad on the first two, and this one is right there, right on the inner half. He leaves it elevated, and that time, good two-strike approach by Glaus. He stays back and rifles it by inch. Again, as a pitcher, you know, you jump ahead with 2 strikes with a changeup both times, and he took bad swings at him. Now you could freeze him, because as a hitter, you're thinking changeup, here it comes again. Right. You can go up, you can go in, you can go away, you can do anything but what he did. And that's throw another one right there.
Anything but.
Anything but. Every pitch has a purpose. And I think if he had thrown a fastball there, he puts fastball in the mind of Glaus, then he can come back with the changeup. We'll take it.
Bases are still loaded, and the infield has come in to what Brian Butterfield would call Ford depth. They're going to try and cut off a run here. All it would take from Alex Rios, considering Wells is at third base, is a long fly ball to give Toronto an added run, and that is the kind of cushion you would like to have going into the bottom half of an inning against a team like.
Well, they start off at the top of the lineup also.
And up towards third. Inge has one play. That'll score that bonus run. And the Jays add another. Make it a 5-3 ball game here in the 10th.
They had some speed at third base, and Vernon Wells got a great jump. No chance for Brandon Inge to get him at the plate. His only play was over at first base, and the 2 runners move up. But as the runner over at third base, you've got to be able to read that ball off the bat. He does that. As you see, Jason Grilli and Bobby Seed now up for Jim Leyland.
With 2 out, Greg Zahn stands in against Rodney. Zahn has pretty well hit everything to the right side today. He's grounded out 3 times and popped out to short. But is comfortable knowing that he will be the everyday catcher for this Blue Jay ball club all season long. He was a backup at this time last year. No balls, 2 strikes.
There's the high fastball, 0-2.
That might have been the pitch he probably should have thrown Troy Glaus.
Yes, yeah, just put that in his mind. Make him think about that. And then you step back in there for 1 and 2, and you go,
is he coming back with that? Or is he going to go change up?
Right. That's pitching.
You know, the old credo is that good pitching means upsetting a hitter's timing, but in a way it also means upsetting their thought process.
Exactly. And he was doing Troy Glaus a favor going to the well 3 straight times.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. Down goes on. The Blue Jays scored twice on 2 hits in the 10th. And oh yes, did we mention they had their closer warmed and ready to go? In comes BJ for the bottom half. We'll return to Comerica Park. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet.
Pontiac G6, coupe, sedan, and the new hardtop convertible. Feel alive.
From decorating to renovating, imagine one tool that can help you do it all. It's HomeCard. Use your HomeCard at Home Hardware Building Center, and home furniture stores to help finance any home enhancement project. And now, during our absolutely no-fee event, choose either do not pay for 6 months or make 12 equal payments. Apply for your HomeCard today.
Help is close to home.
Only at home.
It's the sports show that covers your home teams first. It's fun, cutting edge, and opinionated. With highlights, and even more highlights. Our team, your teams. Sportsnet Connected at 6 and 10 p.m. on Rogers Sportsnet Ontario, your home team first.
Well, Adam Dunn's not the only one to go deep twice on this day. Edgar Renteria, this 2-run shot in the top of the 10th, his second of the day, and it is a 5-3 final. Coming up on Sportsnet Connected, Jason Portwanda with Blue Jay highlights and the big story, the Devils fire Claude Julien. And of course, our plays of the week. Let's send it back to Jamie and Pat.
Barry, the Blue Jays are in a position to win this ball game in the 10th. They'll put the ball in the hands of the ever-reliable B.J. Ryan.
You saw it last year, 38 for 42 in save opportunities. Opponent's batting average, well, they didn't hit anything against them.
Now,
good strikeouts, good whip, good everything.
His appearance comes with a bit of a warning. He did see a limited spring due to some back spasms that kept his appearances well down. Pitched in just 4 games, 4 innings all told, faced 18 batters. But word is BJ is healthy and fine and ready to go. He has been throwing a bunch of bullpens on alternating days the last week or so. They don't seem to be worried about the state of B.J. Ryan as we begin the 2007 season.
Got to watch him last Thursday when he first came back as he takes care of Curtis Granderson quickly. In that game, he threw the 1 inning against a Philly minor league team, and he looked like the B.J. Ryan of old. Nothing wrong with him. It took him 8 pitches, and that time he climbs the ladder and gets the first strikeout against Curtis Granderson, but he looked totally fine in that game.
Jason Phillips at first base as he comes in defensively. Placido Polanco is the batter. No balls and a strike for Ryan. You mentioned 38 saves last year. That put him 3rd in the American League. held all hitters, left-handers, right-handers, it didn't matter, to a batting average of $169. And the 0-2 fouled away.
Well, the thing that's impressive with him is here it is. I'm going to come right after you with my best stuff. If you beat me, you beat me. How many times did we say it last year? Strike one. 0-1. That's right. He gets ahead quickly and then puts you away with that cutter, or he'll paint with that fastball. Nice pitch there.
Decided to get an early jump on traffic. Those who stay watch a 1-2. That is ripped into center field, and that'll fall for a base hit. So Polanco is on, but remember, they need 2 to tie. Polanco's staying hot.
You mentioned he led all major leaguers in spring average, about 500. This is his 3rd hit of the afternoon. Gets up on top of that high fastball by Ryan.
Strike one to Sheffield, who begins his Tiger career with a run driven in the 3rd on a sacrifice line. Wasn't so much a fly as it was lined into the glove of Reed Johnson. One and one, and this is golfed down the left field line. That ball, though, fading into the seats and out of play. He has that ability.
Yes.
It's a piece of the ball, and all of a sudden the hearts in this building just jump.
Just a little bit out front. How he's able to get out in front and hook that ball to left field.
Ooh. Did he go? Yes, indeed. The Blue Jays appeal. Chuck Merriweather gives it to them. And a strikeout of Gary Sheffield.
Well, B.J. Ryan did something a little bit different there. Watch how he gets on top of that ball, and that ball just went straight down. Sheffield cannot hold up on that. It looked like a hard cutter or a slider. Watch how he gets on top of this one, and watch the movement. Right into the ground.
Well, you can see he tried to lock up those wrists, but just too late. And now with 2 out, a home run cut from Ordonez. Polanco's free to take second if he chooses. They're not holding him on at first base. Focus is on the batter. This Tigers club, Pat, starting to look a lot like the Yankees. 1 through 9, there is no easy out, no batter with which to rest.
No breathing room.
Nope.
You know, even if you're down at the bottom of the lineup, Monroe's got home run power, Inge has home run power. You just have to kind of navigate your way through there and make quality pitches.
Everything's away to Ordonez. You don't want to leave one fat over the plate for him because he can hammer it. Most guys on this Tiger team can. 3 balls and a strike. Upstairs, ball 4. Tigers seem bent on not going quietly. And Ryan wants a conference with his catcher.
Yeah, wants to talk over the signs, what they're going to use with the runner on second base. That's why you see Aaron Hill has come in now to find out what they're going to use. Johnny McDonald will go over and talk to Aaron Hill to find out, so they can position themselves accordingly depending on the pitch.
Guillen with a flare, back of second. Aaron Hill puts a glove on it, and that is the ball game. The Blue Jays come into Detroit on opening day, and they go extra innings to earn a 5-3 victory. B.J. Ryan coming on in the 10th to pick up the save. Good way to start the season.
So much was talked about the bullpen. You know, are they going to be able to piece it together? Do they have somebody to get to B.J. Ryan? Well, they throw 4 innings and give up just that 1 hit. Good job by the bullpen this afternoon.
Jason Frazier will pick up the victory. The Blue Jays and Tigers have an off day tomorrow here in Detroit before they get back at it on Wednesday. A.J. Burnett on the mound for Toronto. Left-hander Nate Robertson for the Tigers. And then Thursday we'll wrap up the series here with a 1:05 Eastern start. Gustavo Chacin against Justin Verlander. Coming up next, the Major League Season preview. You'll see that on Sportsnet West and Pacific, and a wonderful documentary entitled The Season, the 07 Jays, for viewers who get Sportsnet East and Sportsnet Ontario. Commentator clothing today provided by Z Zenya, available at Dirk's. A beautiful day, and they unveiled the American League pennant, but the home side will watch the Blue Jays come into town and take the opener in 10. A good way to start the year for these Jays. A lot expected of this ever-powerful lineup. For Pat Tabler and our Sportsnet.ca columnist Scott Carson, I'm Jamie Campbell. Good afternoon from Detroit. We'll look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday.
The culture is changing.
For a couple of years there, this was a team that nobody took very seriously, but I think now, after we achieve what we want to do, it's going to be exciting again in Canada.
And the 07 Jays, just like you've never seen them before, unpolished and unscripted.
Oh, look out.
You're watching the season. Welcome to the season.
Stupid.
This is your all-access pass, 07 Jays.
At Shell, we're constantly raising the bar. That's why Shell has become the first nationally in Canada, not just to meet, but exceed the top-tier detergent gasoline standards for all gasoline grades, set by BMW, GM, Honda, and Toyota. And that's what separates Shell from ordinary fuels.
Represent Canada at the World Series of Poker and play for up to $10 million. 10 of you will win World Series of Poker packages, all expenses paid. Team Canada tryouts are going on now, free, only at PokerStars. We're also offering 60,000 cash prizes to make life even sweeter. Play for free at PokerStars.net/Canada. You could become the next world champion.
Sometimes what seems like a good price on tires isn't really a great deal. Does the price include installation, valves, and balancing? At GM Goodwrench, your new tires include installation, valves, and balancing. Now that's a real offer on the brand names you know. For a limited time, get the right tires at the right price, starting from $89.95. For the real deal on great prices, visit your GM dealer or goodwrench.ca.
The Season 07, brought to you by Auto Trader. Come meet your match.
Oh!
For 13 seasons, the scoreboard read New York, Boston, Toronto. Last year's 87 wins moved the Jays higher up that perch to their highest point since Joe Carter touched home plate in October of 1993.
I don't think people understand what a big deal that might be. You know, that's a hurdle that had been set there for a while, and we surpassed that. And we've proven that we can do it. We've proven we can play against these guys. We've proven that we can win. Now we just need to go out there and take that next step.
You ask guys in that clubhouse, that's not what they're here for. They're not here to finish second. They're here to make a run and win the East and then make it to the playoffs and then see what you can do, and see if you can get hot.
There's not one guy in here that doesn't think that we can't win. And if there's one person in there that has any doubt in his mind that we can't take first place, then it's time to take your jersey off and leave and go somewhere else. I don't mean to sound like an ass about it, but it's when you walk in that clubhouse, it's a winning attitude and it's a championship season that we're fighting for.
Expectations are changing. The culture is changing.
Last year, you brought some new faces in and you brought some guys over from the National League that you think there's going to be that adjustment period, and now it's no excuses. Now's the time to go out there and stand toe-to-toe with them and play some good and hard-nosed baseball.
Now they look to take that next step as 25 players begin their quest for the AL East crown.
They're going to be listening to this live, right, in Canada?
Yeah.
Okay, we play better with more people. For a couple of years there, this was a team that nobody took very seriously, but I think now, after we achieve what we want to do, it's going to be exciting again in Canada.
This is a real good place now. I'm happy, I'm proud of the group we have here, but the next step is for us to make the playoffs, and we're anxiously accepting that challenge.
In the early 90s, when the Blue Jays were winning, that's all you hear about is the buzz that was in the city and how every night you go to the ballpark, there's 45,000, 50,000 people in the stands, and it's to get back to where people want to go to the park and want to come early and want to watch batting practice, want to be a part of this team from start to finish and watch something special unfold.
Believe me, I remember those days in 92, 93. I was jealous of that team. They had it all, and they beat us. But I saw how the city reacted to Toronto and the way they reacted to the ballpark. I want to be a part of that. And I would love to recreate that this year. Because like I said, it's weird to have a city room for you or a state room for you, but to have a whole country is a new experience for me.
I'm Vernon Wells. You're watching The Season. Welcome to The Season.
Stupid. Oh, look out.
Hi, Matt Stairs, DH, pinch hitter, outfielder. You're watching Jays Connection. Jays Connection?
I don't even know what I'm supposed to say.
I'm throwing you under the bus, man.
I'm Vernon Wells. You're watching.
This is The Season.
This is the goodness gracious. This is The Season. You've got the All Access Pass. I'm Vernon Wells. Welcome to The Season 07 Jays. Stupid.
Catch Jays Connected every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time to watch new segments of The Season 07 Jays all year long. And for more behind-the-scenes footage and outtakes, log on to sportsnet.ca/Jays.
Who's counting on your brakes today? Visit Midas for lifetime brake pads or shoes, just $49, installation extra. Be safe.
Trust the Midas touch.
A good team, like a good investment, can test your faith when the going gets tough. But as value investors know so well, dedication and patience will win out in the end. Talk to your financial advisor about AIC mutual funds and the value of commitment, yours and ours.
Harvey's introduces the return of the Angus Burger. One big, juicy Angus beef patty covered in real Canadian cheddar. Crisp lettuce, juicy pickles, and fresh-cut tomatoes are on some other guy's burger.
Just ketchup and mustard.
That a boy, Gordo. Topped just the way you like it. It's one of Canada's best-tasting burgers. Harvey's Angus Burger is back.
Harvey's makes your hamburger a beautiful thing.
This man bought his 100% wool suit at Moores. This man went to another menswear store and spent over twice as much. So while both look smart, one of them actually is. Moores. Well made, well priced, well dressed.
What is your child's favorite superhero drive? The all-new 2008 Dodge Avenger. Technology, innovation, power. Cape and tights not included.
And that's what you work out every off season for, what you go through spring training for, is to get ready for opening day.
I love doing it. You know, it's probably the most exciting game of the season.
It means just going out there and hoping to carry over the success you had from the year before.
It's just going to signal the beginning of some great things for the Blue Jays.
It starts, with the top, American League champions opening day. So, we got our work cut out for us. But like I said, I always like our chances.
It's going to be, it's going to be electric, I guess you'd call it. I mean, it's going to be crazy. It really is.
It's time to pull back the covers on winter because the boys of summer are back. And in Toronto, they're back with a vengeance.
They're going to be scared of us, Obviously, we have a good team.
But their prowess isn't confined to the batter's box.
Yeah, it's intimidating. A lot of guys are done before they even get to the plate.
Plus, we'll take you behind the scenes like you've never been before.
I'm going to dominate this kid.
I'm throwing you under the bus, man.
Oh, look out.
Better keep your head up. The MLB Preview Show is next.
My, oh my, what a catch. Strikeout number 10. He got it. How far is it going to go? Way out of here.
It's unmistakable. You can feel it in the air. Baseball season is here. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Rob Folds, along with Ken Rosenthal in Baltimore, as the Major League season prepares for its 162-game marathon. Ken, all these teams start with a clean slate. It's brand new in 07, and as we try to determine who might be the front runners, I'm getting a sense in 07 this could be a wide-open race.
Rob, you're absolutely right. It is wide open. 25 teams, in my estimation, 25 out of the 30, believe they have a genuine chance at reaching the postseason. And the reason for that is simple. Over the last 7 years, 7 different teams have won the World Series.
Ken will be checking in with you later in the show. 13 years ago, the Jays and their fans were celebrating a second straight World Championship. The three-peat was moot after the season was washed out because of a labor dispute in '94, but the teams that won the titles did it with some power in the lineup. And the 07 Jays, 2 through 6, could be one of the strongest orders in all of baseball. Meet the power source of the Jays.
Now the 2-2. Well hit down the left field line. Way back and Joe Carter with a 3-run homer. The winners and still world champions, the Toronto Blue Jays.
It remains the greatest moment in Blue Jays history. 14 years ago, Joe Carter handed the city of Toronto its second consecutive World Series title. At the time, no one would have envisioned that come 2007, the Jays wouldn't have had a single postseason at-bat since.
Toronto Blue Jays, long out of it, are now officially eliminated from the wild card race.
But as the new season approaches, there's an air of optimism, a sense among the team that they're on the cusp of something special.
It's long overdue. The fans of Toronto and Canada, in general, deserve a winner. It's been too long, and I think we're going to give them a team that they can be proud of.
During the early 90s, the Jays possessed one of the most feared lineups in the league. They come into this season with an offense that is comparable to those championship teams. They are the complete package, boasting both power and precision.
We're all very capable. We can outslug just about anybody in the game of baseball. Our lineup is very, very balanced top to bottom. We have some speed. We have some power.
They're going to be scared of us, Obviously, we have a good team. We're going to compete this year in the American League. The American League East. And it's going to be great.
The transformation back to offensive juggernaut began with the acquisitions of Lyle Overbay and Troy Glaus. It continued this offseason when Vernon Wells re-upped for another 7 years.
Coming into this year, our offense is going to be strong. How strong it's going to be just depends on how we play. I mean, hopefully we can live up to expectations and help lead this team to where it needs to be.
The final exclamation point would come with the arrival of one of baseball's all-time greats.
High and deep to left field. If it stays fair, it is gone. Well, hits the foul pole for a grand slam home run. Number 8 in Thomas's career.
With the Big Hurt on board and the emergence of key pieces like Reed Johnson and Alex Rios, the Jays have assembled a lineup that can hold its own against the AL's best. It has given rise to the notion of dethroning the powerhouse Yankees.
I think the Yankees are a great team. I mean, they've always been a great team, but we definitely have the players and the ability to do it.
We made a little progress each of the last couple of years. Now we put ourselves in a position that, hey, we're on the map. We're expected to do things, and I think we're up for the challenge.
This year's offense will have high expectations, but if they can deliver, the Jays could be on the verge of a postseason renaissance with a chance to regain past glory. The lineup is a solid blend of power and speed. Now, outside of the Bronx, the 2 through 6 spots are the most dangerous in the game. Well, Ken, as we get ready to take a look at the offense of the Toronto Blue Jays, the first addition they made was one for power, and it was the Big Hurt, who's coming off a terrific season last year in Oakland. Can he do the same thing in Toronto?
The whole question, Rob, is can he stay healthy? And if he can, I think we saw last season what he can do. He played in 137 games, a very high total for him, 39 home runs. Now, he's had those historic ankle problems. They've gone on for a while, but last year he was able to manage them, and by the end of the year, he was moving a little bit better. Earlier in his career as a hitter, he was compared statistically to Ted Williams. He's trying to cap off a Hall of Fame career. I expect big things from Frank Thomas.
Well, Ken, if you like right-handed orders, then you've got to love the Toronto Blue Jays. It's predominantly right-handed hitting. Lyle Overbay's in the 2-hole. Do you agree with that? Is that a bit of a problem, do you think?
No, I do agree with it. And obviously there was some thought given to putting Overbay in between some of the right-handed hitters, breaking it up a little bit. But there are a lot of advantages to having him in the 2-hole. One is his .372 career on-base percentage. That's very good. 2, the first base hole opens up for a left-handed hitter when there's a runner on first. And 3, I like a little bit of power in the 2-hole. And Tony La Russa of the Cardinals is a big advocate of this. He wants a guy who can maybe drive in the leadoff man from first. Lyle Overbay gives you that.
Well, now we've got through 6. The question is bottom third of the order. You've got Greg Zahn, Aaron Hill, Royce Clayton. Is that a big concern, do you think, for Toronto?
I wouldn't say it's a big concern, but when you talk about the lineup, I don't think you can compare it with the Yankees because 7 through 9, they're simply not as good. Zahn had what was one of his best seasons last year at age 35, so there's a question whether he can repeat that. Aaron Hill is a developing hitter, guy who gets on base but still needs to develop power. Royce Clayton is, I wouldn't say an out, but certainly not an offensive threat. .313 career on-base percentage.
Well, let's talk about the teams they now have to play in the AL East. And, of course, always the attention is focused on the New York Yankees. My question, though, is not so much the guys at the plate, but it's the guys on the bump. You take a look right now. Wong is injured. Pettit's not 100% healthy. And Carl Pavano's their opening day starter. What's going on?
Well, it's by default, Rob, but you absolutely have identified the biggest cause of concern with the Yankees. It's that rotation. Wong is a younger guy. They never expected him to get hurt. The real concerns physically are Pettit, who's had elbow trouble in the past and now has his back issue, and Messina, who is 38 years old. They've also got Pavano, who, of course, has been a walking medical chart the last couple of years, and Keiagawa coming over from Japan. Now, the one thing that they've done is they've built some depth with some of their younger pitchers. They've added some. They've got Phillip Hughes, the great prospect, waiting. But I'm not sure this year that they're going to be able to keep that rotation together the way they want it to.
Well, the biggest news in the offseason was the amount of money that the Boston Red Sox spent on the gyro ball. Daisuke Matsuzaka comes in. What's your over-under on how many games he might win? If I said 18, what would you say?
I would say under. I do think he's going to be an effective pitcher in the major leagues, but there's a transition, Rob, that he's going to have to make. In Japan, he essentially pitched once a week. That's the schedule that they were on. In the major leagues, it's every 5th day. That's a huge adjustment. The other thing that he's going to have to adjust to is simply the quality of major league lineups. It's a lot different facing the New York Yankees than it is facing the Chiba Lotte Marines over in Japan. I do think, though, that Daisuke is going to be successful.
And we're going to add a new term to our lexicon. We'll add shuto to the I think that's what they call it anyhow. Let's talk then about the power that both the Yankees and the Red Sox have. Who do you like better in terms of their bats? The Yankees do have some experienced hitters. They've got some big names. But then again, when you've got Manny and Big Papi, who do you like?
I like the Yankees, and I think you have to like the Yankees when you've got Robinson Cano, a guy who hit .342 last year, batting 8th. The Red Sox, outside of Manny and Ortiz, there are a lot of questions in that lineup, especially at the up-the-middle positions. Veritek was in decline last year. He had a poor spring. Dustin Pedroia is a rookie taking over at second base. Coco Crisp, the center fielder, yet to establish himself in Boston. Even if you look around the rest of the diamond, Lowell, can he do it again? J.D. Drew, can he stay healthy? I think you have to like the Yankees in this particular comparison.
Right off the top, you mentioned that we've seen 7 years, 7 different champions. Everybody thought in the American League the balance of power was in the East. But the Tigers win the AL Championship and go to the World Series. Has it shifted?
I think it has shifted to the Central, Rob. And there are 4 teams in that Central: Tigers, White Sox, Indians, Twins. They can basically finish in any order. In fact, people are picking, for the most part, the Tigers, but also the Indians are getting some support. And I don't think you can ever rule out the Twins or the White Sox. So, to me, the Central is the stronger division. Even the Royals are improved. I think it's going to be tough for the wild card to come out of the Central for that reason. These teams are going to beat each other up. But the quality of the clubs in that division is probably the strongest in baseball.
All right, so we then focus a little more on the AL Central. There's our AL look. We're going to get you back a little later on to talk about the National League, so stay with us. But first, we want to give you an inside look at the personalities that make up the Toronto Blue Jays for 2007.
25 players.
One nation, united by a game.
This is the season. 07 Jays.
What's that? That's called a microphone.
So when you
bring bugs. Having bugs.
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese. I'm going to dominate this kid.
Hitting is everything for me now in my career. I take very serious at bats.
Well, some people like breakfast, some people don't.
I do.
Oh, look out. Nice big deep breath. Make your pitches right here. Get your ground ball. Get out of this right now. Here we go.
You're watching the season, 07 Blue Jays. Testing, alpha leader.
We've proven that we can do it. We've proven we can play against these guys. We've proven that we can win. Now we just need to go out there and take that next step.
You've got the all-access pass. Welcome to the season, 07 Jays.
You can catch fresh new segments of the season all year long on Jays Connected. On April 8th, the premiere, we go behind the scenes in Detroit with 25 players as the Jays begin their quest for the American League East title. It is Jays Connected. When the MLB preview show returns, we'll take our first look at the senior circuit, including Barry's pursuit of the home run king. And we'll profile one of the most feared players in the game.
Every time we're in a close ball game, bring in the beast. He'll come, he'll come get you out.
The season 07, brought to you by Auto Trader. Come meet your match.
Oh!
Harvey's introduces the return of the Angus Burger. One big, juicy Angus beef patty covered in real Canadian cheddar. Crisp lettuce, juicy pickles, and fresh-cut tomatoes are on some other guy's burger.
Just ketchup and mustard.
That a boy, Gordo. Topped just the way you like it. It's one of Canada's best-tasting burgers. Harvey's Angus Burger is back.
Harvey's makes your hamburger a beautiful thing.
At Shell, we're constantly raising the bar. That's why Shell has become the first nationally in Canada, not just to meet, but exceed the top-tier detergent gasoline standards for all gasoline grades, set by BMW, GM, Honda, and Toyota. And that's what separates Shell from ordinary fuels.
Lucky. Love Tim Hortons donuts.
Oh, those aren't just any donuts. They're the new triple chocolate donuts.
What? But I'm the chocolate king.
Oh, yeah, and they're super chocolatey, too, with the filling and the icing, and there's even more chocolatey drizzle on top of that.
It's irresistibly chocolatey at Tim Hortons with our triple chocolate baked goods.